Good evening and welcome everyone to the Horizon Goodwill Industries 66th Annual Power of Work Awards Virtual Edition. My name is Paul Fry and I'm President and CEO of the Washington County Chamber of Commerce and a member of the Horizon Goodwill Industries Board of Directors, and it will be my pleasure to serve as your MC for this event this evening. As you may know, last year's 65th Annual Awards program was ultimately canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As we join together virtually this evening, we are reminded that the pandemic continues to be a global concern. Hopefully next May, we will be able to again celebrate these accomplishments and partnerships in person. Now, as we get underway, we'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsors for the evening. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. Our title sponsor is Penske. We have two platinum sponsors. They are Employee Benefit Services and Wright Gardner Insurance. We have gold sponsors, Symbol Mattress, BB&T Truist, Middletown Valley Bank, the Family Heritage Trust Company, and Weiss Brothers. Our silver sponsors are M&T Bank, SCK CPAs and Advisors, Bowman Logistics, Keystone Environmental Solutions, SCK CPAs and Advisors, Wells Fargo Advisors, Colonial Life, PIA, Fifth Third Bank, and Trans Promotion. And our bronze sponsor is the Maryland Theater. Thank you all for supporting Horizon Good Industries. We're more than a store. At this time, I would like to introduce Pastor Terry King, the Executive Director of Leadership Development Resources, for our invocation.
Well, good evening. It's certainly my privilege to be with you, and I'd ask you to join me in prayer as we begin this evening. Heavenly Father, we come to you with gratitude. These have been difficult days, and you have not forsaken us. I thank you for the great work you're doing through Horizon, Goodwill, for the grace you've given, for allowing them and even enabling them to prosper and to continue to accomplish their mission during this difficult time. We pray for your blessing as we go forward this evening, and your blessing upon the speakers, those who are giving testimonies, that you will be honored and praised by all we say and do. In the wonderful name of Jesus, amen. Thank you.
Thank you for your words. And with that, I would like to introduce our Horizon Goodwill President and CEO, David Schuster, to make some opening remarks. Good evening, Dave.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Pastor King, for your invocation. And thank you for joining us this evening and you know what has certainly been some of the most trying times I think many of us have experienced. And as we have all learned in the past year, grace, as Pastor King referenced there, is first and foremost in everybody's minds, including when the technology doesn't work quite the way you want it to. So if we have some gaps here, we're not going to expect Paul to ad-lib too much for us, but just bear with us, and we ask for grace in return as we move forward through our brief event this evening. I would be remiss if I didn't give a little bit of perspective about the year that was in 2020 for Horizon Goodwill. So I'd like to do that now as we kick off our evening. Like many organizations, Horizon Goodwill entered 2020 with great energy and hope for the year. And yet, by the 1st of April, it was clear that the ability to adapt and innovate in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and incredibly ambiguous environment was going to be the paramount skill required for the foreseeable future. So the balance of 2020 for us, and as I'm sure will resonate with everybody, is a story of persistence, resilience, and innovation across Horizon Goodwill, as well as the communities we serve and all of the partners that we work with. During the course of the year, we learned to embrace a for-profit mindset by holding our mission, vision, and values as our North Star while continuously scanning the horizon for challenges and opportunities. We learned how to lead and operate in a virtual and remote environment, albeit sometimes imperfectly, while recognizing the digital divide that certainly exists across our region. We learned that we are imperfect and the importance of leading with grace and empathy. We recognized and embraced the many equity challenges brought to light by the pandemic. The Goodwill mission has always been centered on equity, and we identified the need to be more intentional in our work, addressing systemic lack of access to opportunity across our territory. We pivoted our programs and services to help address these needs as we found opportunities, expanding programs to assist with housing, food, and transportation to work, among others. We expanded our custodial services to offer increased COVID-19 mitigation services at the request of customers. When retail restrictions were lifted, we reopened our store in Hagerstown as a dollar store to better meet community needs. Most of all, we continue to build hope and instill an opportunity mindset in every individual we interact with as a core component of our mission. Tonight, we celebrate these individual accomplishments and our partners in success against the backdrop of these trying times. We celebrate with you that we have not only navigated a pandemic, but have done so while finding new and different ways to thrive despite the adversity. Horizon Goodwill navigated 2020 and addressed the impacts of the COVID pandemic the way we would any barrier, by working together to find a way over, under, around, or through, built on our unrelenting hope for a better tomorrow and an eye towards creating opportunities for all. We remain, as always, future-focused. Thank you for your ongoing support and for joining us this evening.
Thank you, David, for those opening remarks. And here's the good news. We can edit all this. So all these things we're working on, we can fix, and we do appreciate your patience here. And with that, we're going to begin our celebration this evening by recognizing two individuals for their service on the HDI Board of Directors. We welcome right now the 2021 Immediate Past Board Chair, Christian Wright. Good evening, Christian.
Good evening, Paul, and good evening, everyone. This reward is given to all board members who serve their full eligibility of 6 years on the Horizon Goodwill Industries Board of Directors. It is a print of Norman Rockwell's First Paycheck painting, which shows a man in a wheelchair joyfully going to cash his first paycheck. If you look closely, the check is made out from Goodwill Industries. This year, we recognize Mary Ann Kaiser for her 6 years of service to Horizon Goodwill Industries and the communities we serve. Here is a picture of Mary Ann receiving her recognition. Mary Ann came to HGI with a strong background in government contracting. She brought much needed and appreciated experience that helped us negotiate favorable leases, employment contracts, and bylaw improvements. In speaking with Mary Ann, she shared some of her fondest memories and proudest accomplishments serving our organization. As a member of the Executive Compensation Committee, Mary Ann helped negotiate a fair and equitable agreement with our CEO and ensured appropriate evaluation metrics were in place. Mary Ann enjoyed participating in the annual mile-long yard sale, where she interacted with various people to help get the word out that HGI is truly more than just a store. Mary Ann was instrumental in networking with government officials throughout our trade territory, especially in Virginia and West Virginia, where she educated government leaders on all that we do to remove barriers and create opportunities. Mary Ann took the time to visit all of our stores to see firsthand how each store operated, how they were laid out, and what might be done to improve operations. But above all, Mary Ann enjoyed the emotional interactions, positive emotional interactions with HGI employees. One of her fondest memories was with an HGI employee who shared with Mary Ann that she had just received a monetary reward which enabled her to buy her grandchildren Christmas presents that she would have otherwise not been able to do. This was something new at HGI, which meant a great deal to this employee. It showed we care about our employees and that we will always support them to achieve whatever goal they set out to accomplish. Mary Ann told me that giving back in retirement is exactly what she experienced during her time on our board, but that it was the giving nature of our organization and clients we serve that ultimately filled her cup. In her words, "I gained more than I could ever have given." Thank you, Mary Ann, for your tireless contributions to Horizon Goodwill.
Thank you, Christian, and thank you, Mary Ann, in absentia for your service and your work. We really appreciate it. And I'd now like to welcome Ron Bowers. He's our 2021-2022 board chair to recognize Christian Wright for his service. Ron?
Thank you, Paul, for your introduction of Christian for Mary Ann. I have a couple sentences for Mary Ann as well. Mary Ann, I enjoyed working with you and watching you grow with tremendous enthusiasm on our board of directors. You coined the phrase, the dignity of work, and constantly reminded us the need for upgrading facilities in the Winchester store. Christian, I remember on cold days, winter days, before asking you to join the board, of walking through parking lots, dilapidated, with holes in the parking lots, rusty steps on the edge of a trailer that was the processing place for, goods being turned in, steps with no handrails, with severe safety issues at every turn. Just hoping that nothing serious would happen momentarily in any one of our facilities in any one of our 4 states. Today, we have a compliance record that is the envy of any 501c3 and any business that's out in the field. Thank you so much for that guidance. Thank you for helping guide us through this last pandemic year filled with unknown. Today, in my opinion, we stand stronger than ever before because of making tough decisions. You were able to keep the board informed while working with our seasoned veteran, David Schuster, who just happened to be on site on that April the 16th, 2007 at the Virginia Tech shooting in Blacksburg, Virginia. And with David being able to have that experience of a traumatic impact on the campus of Virginia Tech, he had the smooth hand working with you, who knew compliance and knew what we needed to do. You two worked together in a way that we all are extremely proud of. It gives me great pleasure now, Christian, to pass to you your reward for your tremendous tenure as president of the Goodwill board.
Thank you, Ron. And I appreciate all your kind words, but really my hat's off to the rest of the board members and the organization under David's leadership and his team. So it's been my pleasure. Thank you. And I pass it back to you as the incoming chair, my friend. So there you go.
Christian, humility is a good trait of a leader. So you show your humility, and thank you for all your work. And before we go to our first award, I just wanted to mention a couple things that Goodwill has been able to do in 2020. We had over 10 million pounds of donated goods received, and that supported a number of initiatives. Some of them were, we helped 30 people avoid eviction through some prevention programs. We served 84 at-risk youth. We were able to serve 700 meals to hungry families, and we helped over 100 people place them into competitive employment. So through the work that Goodwill does by accepting these donated goods, we're able to do a lot of good things in the community. And with that, we're going to move to our first award, the Employer of the Year. And so with that, we have a short video to play.
The partnership between Martin's and Goodwill is special in multiple different ways. Number one, we started off with a partnership with Martin's, helping the young adult. We were able to come down and job coach a couple of the students that were working here, and really they kind of welcomed me as one of their staff, gave me an opportunity to have a place where I could observe the students doing their job, instruct them, learn how to do the job so that I could show them how to do it. We started this partnership in June of 2019, and we've been working periodically ever since then.
Martin's helps support the Goodwill clients by providing them an opportunity here to gain job experience, to help them grasp more education for a job in the future, whether it be with us or it be in some other place of employment.
We selected Martins for the award because they've been really kind of able to think outside the box with us, kind of give us the opportunity to really expand how we train someone.
The job coaches are here on scene if something were to happen. They're here, they know the client better themselves. We give them the opportunity to get their foot in the door for a possible part-time employment with our company.
I'd like to thank Martins for giving us an opportunity to place individuals in the community, for giving us an opportunity to teach people job skills. We really thank them for being tolerant of our presence and really always giving us an opportunity to work through somebody's difficulty or barriers to employment through discussion, through team meetings, through kind of guidance and direction of what that individual might need. A real partnership, actually.
Congratulations and thank you to our partners at Martins. We really appreciate your work on our behalf this past year. Our next award is Mission Partner of the Year. And this recognizes a business or organization that provides aid or has otherwise supported Horizon Goodwill in its efforts to assist individuals experiencing barriers to employment, thereby helping Goodwill fulfill its mission on a daily basis.
Mark and Heavy Metal Playground, they've approached this from a place of wanting to make a difference. They want to impact others' lives. And at its core, that's what Goodwill is about.
I've always known and I've always said that if I develop my business to the point, the best way to pay it forward is to give back in some way. And that has led to a program like this where I saw the need, I heard the need from companies, from individuals, that there is a need for operators, a need for workers and things like that. And in working with Goodwill, we established that people were coming to Goodwill and saying, you know, I want to work.
You know, between Mark and Paul, I've learned so much through the program. It's to the point that at times I was getting frustrated with myself and you know, but they've driven me, you know what I mean, to where I really started feeling good about it.
Most importantly though, perhaps, is the sense of accomplishment and confidence that a program like this provides an individual. Perhaps they were lacking that earlier, and now they think, well, if I could do that, you know, what else can I do? And you start to see them invest in themselves, and you start to see them grow and develop.
Big impact, very, very big impact. Really, really love these guys. They did a really good job with me.
In the last year, we have grown this to an 80+ hour program. We developed this by reaching out to hiring companies. Hiring companies told us what they looked for in the students, as they call it, candidates that they would want to hire. So we then kept growing this program. It took a commitment from both sides. Our commitment was to figure out how to grow the program to 80+ hours. Goodwill's commitment was to help provide transportation, how to make it all work logistically, and it's been a great partnership ever since.
And when you have an idea that authentically transpires from a place of compassion and kindness, it has a powerful effect, a very inspirational effect. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
The support that Goodwill gave those of us that didn't have transportation, they even provided lunch for us. So they covered all the bases. And that's probably one of the most impressive parts of this whole program. The way that Heavy Metal Playground and Goodwill work together to bring something that I think is life-changing.
Great story. Congratulations to Mark Stefanis and Heavy Metal Playground. Thank you for your work with Goodwill this year. Our final partnership award, the Business Partner of the Year, is presented to a company or organization that has partnered with Horizon Goodwill Industries through a contractual relationship and shown a significant benefit to our clients by providing work opportunities to the individuals we serve.
The relationship that we have with the Department of Juvenile Services is a special one. We have had several years together, and the relationship has grown through the years. We've added additional job sites, everything from very old buildings that require special care to new construction. We've even been helping them out in the past year with construction cleanup on a new facility out in Garrett County.
The services that Horizon Goodwill provides us is janitorial services, and make sure that all the trash is picked up, restrooms are cleaned, daily areas are cleaned, epoxy cleaning, VCT tile cleaning, stripping and waxing, carpet cleaning. Since COVID of March last year, they've really come through to provide us with those special care services.
We have, basically all of these campuses across the region. So we have employees here in Washington County, Allegheny, Garrett County, up in Sibyllsville, all over, doing different things at different facilities, but just making sure that they all stay their best, look the nicest that they possibly can. Regardless of their age, we want to make sure that people here are proud of their product.
We've worked together as far as creating scopes that are more detailed for each facility, because all of our facilities are different. The services that we've tailored to each facility has definitely come up to par of what we expect here at DJS. They definitely have come up with ways to better address our needs, and we like to work with them. Their employees, I never have to worry about having an issue, and if there is an issue, it's taken care of either that day or the next day.
The partnership with the employees that we have on our side and with the DJS staff is a lot like family. It's, it certainly does not feel like a vendor relationship. Things do pop up, but when they do, everybody's very level-headed. Everybody keeps things together to make sure that the customer gets what they need.
It's kind of like a family, because you have an employee work somewhere for so long that people get to know them. And if you ask any of our employees, they'll tell you they wouldn't want to go without Goodwill.
From all of us here at Horizon Goodwill Industries, we would like to thank Jeremy and his team at DJS for all of their partnership through the years and for the excellent work they've given us the opportunity to provide to our employees. And I just want to say thank you, and we're happy to have you as a partner.
Congratulations to our friends at the Maryland Department of Juvenile Services. Now we will celebrate the significant accomplishments of several individuals during 2020. Our first award honors an outstanding person with disabilities who has shown great progress throughout the year in developing the skills for independent functioning and participation in the community. The Chuck Robinette Spirit of Goodwill Award.
Ronnie is a worker that will come every day, no matter what's going on. He comes with a smile on his face. He will do whatever you ask him to. He works great with other people, and he doesn't have a problem doing anything. There's 4 floors at DLLR. We start on the first, we do the bathrooms, then we go up to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and then we do the trash on all floors. He collects the trash, and we take it out to the dumpster. Then we go back through, check every floor for the floors to see what needs vacuumed.
I do trash, dust, clean the toilets, do the mirrors, do the sinks. We do the bathrooms first, then we go floor to floor.
And the most valuable part is he comes with a smile on his face. Like if somebody's having a bad day, you can leave it to him there'll be a smile on your face by the time you leave. I mean, his attitude rubs off.
In '95, I was hit by a car on Industrial Boulevard when I was 11. I spent 6 weeks in Memorial, well, what used to be Memorial, in a coma. Then I was transferred up to Morgantown for rehabilitation. I learned how to do everything all over again. I learned how to walk, talk, eat. And in '99, when I lived in Morgantown, I had testicular cancer. And then I came back here to Goodwill, and that's how I got the custodial job.
He's done an excellent job, especially with all the issues this year with COVID and everything, and things being up in the air and things changing. He's rolled with the punches, and he is absolutely one of the best people I've ever worked with, ever. I am so proud of everything he's done this year. He wears that Goodwill shirt with pride. He really does.
Wow, what an inspiring story. So congratulations to Ronnie Miller, our 2020 Chuck Robinette Spirit of Goodwill Award. Before we move on to our next award, I just want to also make a couple other comments about some of the work that's been able to be done through the donations received. Remember, over 10 million pounds of donated goods. We've also been able to help 439 folks get on board through job training. We have spent or paid almost $600,000 to individuals in paid work training programs. As you heard from Heavy Metal Playground, we've been able to certify 26 operators. We've been able to help 8 homeless individuals obtain permanent housing. And we have helped 524 people. We've served them through crisis assistance programs. So again, all the work being done through the donations we received. So our next award is the Young Adult Achiever of the Year Award. This honors an outstanding young adult with disabilities or other employment barriers that has shown great progress and accomplishments while continuing to benefit from the Goodwill work environment or receiving services to support employment at a community site.
Zach came to our Young Adult Solution Center probably about a year and a half ago or so. He was unemployed, living on his own. He needed some assistance in finding work.
I lost my job, things just didn't work out, so I was trying to get another job and Ben was willing to help me.
So I put him through our job readiness program. He did really well. He progressed through it pretty quickly. We started off with some small jobs like door hanging projects, things like that. We then looked to transition into something more permanent, and we found the opening here at the South End store.
He's the donation store attendant. And so his responsibilities are filling up gaylords of clothing for the hangers, emptying trash, helping out the people that are processing wares to make everything run more smoothly. He's got a really great work ethic for someone as young as he is. He asks questions, really good questions. He asks for feedback. Nothing is too much trouble. Whatever you ask him to do, he will definitely do.
I think what made Zach's efforts stand out is that he did have to overcome several barriers.
My mom was battling addiction and we were also in a lot of financial problems, and my brother was battling depression, and we also lost my grandmother.
It would have made a lot of people quit and give up, and he, on his own, he searched out the help. He came to us and really wanted to better himself. He jumped right in, and that's admirable. You don't see that quite often, so I think that's kind of what makes his efforts stand out. He really was determined to succeed.
He was a little more shy when he first started, and now that he knows what's expected of him, it's more he's self-sufficient. Like he pretty much can go and do and knows everything that's expected of him, and there's not so much having to say, Zach, don't forget to do this, or Zach, you need to go do this. He pretty much does everything he's supposed to do.
It's a great company and they help a lot of people. They actually helped me towards a lot of things, and not only that, but I got my permit recently, so I'm working towards my license.
Zach, I want to congratulate you on being named the Young Adult of the Year. I'm extremely proud of you, and I'm looking forward to continuing to watch you to grow.
Again, Zach Hallmart, our 2020 Young Adult Achiever of the Year. Congratulations. Likewise, this next award also honors an outstanding person with disabilities or other employment barriers that has shown great progress and accomplishment while continuing to benefit from the Goodwill work environment or receiving services to support employment at a community site. Our 2020 Achiever of the Year Award.
Marvin has a really great work ethic. He has always made work a main priority while juggling multiple other personal goals. He comes to work every day on time. He's motivated while he's there. He steps in and helps in other positions and is just an amazing team player.
I started in Goodwill back in Hagerstown a couple years ago when I wasn't at a good place in my life. And when I went there, they accepted me for who I was. They didn't judge me. And they actually cared and they tried to help me all they could, you know, and because of my addiction, I left. And when I came back, they told me, sure, you can come back. And I'm like, what? And I did. And again, they welcomed me with open arms. It feels good when someone does that today, when you run into people that actually care about you and they don't judge you. This is me starting over, a new way of life. And what I like about it is I get to meet people, help people, and just be a part of something. Because that's all new to me, and it feels good to help somebody or say good morning or say something to somebody or somebody say something to me. You know, I've learned it can change your whole day.
When we met him, we discovered that he had already connected with Goodwill, so we offered him to pick back up in a training position in the warehouse here. He quickly met all of his job skills milestones that we look for in the training program. So we moved him to the store and he finished his training position there. He did so well there that the store manager offered him a permanent position. He is a very important part of that team and is just continuing to excel there.
To my supervisor, Dwayne, you know, I stand here today receiving this only because of the leadership that I fall under. Again, accepting me, not judging me, talking to me, not at me. I'd like to thank the people in NA. NA has changed my life. Without them showing me another way to live, I wouldn't be standing here. And it's a beautiful thing to learn that, to see that change is possible. I'm 61 years old and I'm starting to live today. But that's okay because I still have time. And just for today, life's good.
I do want to congratulate Marvin on all the challenges that he overcame, his achievements, his accomplishments, especially earning the Achiever of the Year award. So congratulations, Marvin.
Thank you, Marvin Dotson, for your strong work ethic and your persistence, our 2020 Achiever of the Year award. Now, our final individual award honors an outstanding person with disabilities or other employment barriers that completed a Goodwill Industries program of services in 2020 and is now competitively employed. The Graduate of the Year is selected for outstanding achievement in overcoming barriers to attaining and maintaining employment. The Bennett S. Rubin Graduate of the Year Award.
When Carlos first came to us, the first kind of barrier that we all recognized pretty quickly was he'd been in prison for about 13 years. That was on the surface, the barrier that he was facing. But as we got to spend some more time with him, we realized that Carlos had actually grown up in a family where addiction and homelessness and some mental health issues were prevalent. And that he had had substance abuse issues since he was very young, right? So he had struggled with his sobriety most of his life, which had really led to those incarcerations. But when he came back, he really wanted to change his life.
Carlos was helped by, first, our job readiness program. So he started out in our Get On Board job readiness class. That's where I first met Carlos as the class instructor. It was a 2-week class, so it's a pretty big commitment. And he did excellent in that with attendance and participating. From there, he moved on to our paid training program. Again, positive contribution to the work environment, so much so that he then was suggested that he apply to become a core employee. So he was a really good example of the whole process and our mission of removing barriers and creating opportunities.
I saw a lot of changes in Carlos. He was a dependable, hardworking, stepped out wherever was needed. If he didn't have anything to do, asked if there was something we could do. Seen great improvements. Became proud of himself.
One of the most important things I think that is in place to support Carlos is his family. You know, he was very clear when he came back from his incarceration that he wanted to be a father and a husband. He recognized that he had lost that time and he wanted to be committed and dedicated, and he has the support of his wife and son right now. And then of course he has the case management team and even his supervisors and you know, internal staff here at Goodwill always cheerleading for him. He's someone who has friends coming out the ears on the floor when he's working, right? And he's always a shoulder for them to lean on, but the same is true, I think, of others with him. Carlos, I know you can't be with us today, but I am so proud and excited for you to see this video and see all the wonderful things people are gonna say about you, and congratulations on all your success.
Congratulations, Carlos, for receiving the Graduate of the Year award. You've worked really hard and you deserve it.
Way to go, Carlos. our 2020 Bennett S. Rubin Graduate of the Year Award. Good job. It's now my pleasure to welcome back David Schuster, our President and CEO of Horizon Goodwill Industries, to present a special award this evening. David?
Thank you, Paul. So I am incredibly honored to present our final award of the evening tonight, which is one that we don't present every year, but it recognizes an individual or organization that has made a significant contribution to building bridges between groups in order to foster collaboration and thereby improve the quality of life for the citizens of their community. This award is named after the late Massey H. Rowe, who among his many contributions to the community was a former Goodwill board member. And the past recipients of this award truly embody a sense of connection, collaboration, and a focus on creating a better future. While I did not have the pleasure of knowing Massey Rowe personally, I suspect some of you with us and in the community tonight did, or are at least aware of his legacy, and will agree that this year's recipient is beyond deserving of this recognition. By way of example, you may have seen an article in today's Herald Mail regarding a free hot breakfast program that we are currently running in downtown Hagerstown. This idea was originated by tonight's award recipient, who read about a similar pandemic response program in another community and wondered if it might be possible to create something similar here. The idea of uniting government funding, nonprofit resources, and supporting a private business to provide access to a free meal for those most impacted by the pandemic is evidence to me of Massey Rowe's conviction that no organization can do everything by itself. It goes without saying that this year's Massey H. Rowe Award recipient, Paul Fry, consistently focuses on building bridges across community partners, including government, business, and nonprofits. He understands that no one organization has the resources to meet all of the needs of any specific population or challenge within a community, and he strives to make connections between organizations of all types to meet those needs. He demonstrates a strong commitment to identifying win-win solutions to benefit the community in all aspects of his work, whether through his role leading the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, as a member of the Horizon Goodwill Industries Board of Directors, or his involvement with numerous other community organizations and initiatives. One can see the impact of Paul's network building approach through the community response to the challenges created by the recent pandemic. In addition to participation in multiple cross-sector recovery initiatives, Paul led the Chamber of Commerce in partnering with the Greater Hagerstown Committee and Leadership Washington County to initiate a series of cultural conversations with the purpose of engaging in discussion of equity issues in the local community. While these are very recent examples of Paul's community-first efforts, I believe we can all agree that his commitment to the ideals embodied by Massey Rowe runs far and deep. We recognize and celebrate Paul's ongoing commitment to removing barriers and creating opportunities across our region with the 2020 Horizon Goodwill Industries Massey H. Rowe Community Service Award. So Paul, I realize that we kind of sprung that on you, but it's our prerogative to have a little surprise in every online event, and it wouldn't be online fun if we didn't have some surprises, right? I do have your award here. We couldn't do the cool pass it across the screen thing, or we would have had to given up the fact that we were recognizing you tonight. But here it is nonetheless. We'll make sure you get it as soon as we can. And before I turn it over to you, if you'd like to make a couple of comments, I also want to acknowledge another interesting cross that I believe it was in 1958, shortly after the founding of Horizon Goodwill, that Massey H. Rowe was actually the chair of the Chamber of Commerce here in Hagerstown, Washington County. So there's a fascinating sort of cross legacy going on here as well tonight. So, but Paul, again, congratulations.
Well, Dave, I owe you one, and it may not be a beer the next time we see each other, but thank you all for this nice surprise and honor. And believe it or not, I'm speechless about this because I'm surprised. So thank you. It's my pleasure to serve on the board and to help collaborate here in Washington County. We live in a great community, and I brag about this Goodwill wherever I can because of the work that your staff does on your leadership. So what I wanted to end with, number one, is a thank you before I turn it back over to you. But I did want to thank you and your team for a great year. It starts at the top, and you have to have good staff. And I worked with a lot of your team in the community. I'd like to particularly point out Craig Foster for his work tonight with this AV. Thank you, Craig. Again, on behalf of the Goodwill Industries, I just want to close with these remarks. I'll turn it over to you, Dave, and then we'll wrestle over a beer here coming up soon. As you heard, the COVID-19 pandemic will likely be looked upon as one of the defining factors of 2020, having impacted nearly everyone, not only in the United States, but worldwide. Horizon Goodwill faced many of the same struggles as the rest of the world, as you heard Dave describe earlier. A temporary closure of non-essential businesses, reopening restrictions, quarantining, social distancing, and other changes were major disruptions many had to navigate. And despite these challenges, you've heard many people, volunteers and the staff and our clients worked really hard to embrace its mission and to overcome the barriers that COVID-19 presented while embracing new business and service opportunities that arose through the year. So you can either give up and fold up your tent, or you can fight, and Goodwill, as you have seen, has fought this past year. And as Goodwill enters its 66th year of operation, we can look back on the past year knowing that we not only survived COVID-19, we innovated and thrived in a new environment. And with that, again, thank you for that nice recognition, Dave. I appreciate it. I'll now turn it over back to you for your closing remarks and to close up the program for tonight. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Paul. And I cannot reiterate again, and particularly the past year, but even prior to that, and I'm sure well into the future, it is well-deserved recognition for your efforts here to make Hagerstown and Washington County a better place. So thank you, and it's a pleasure to work with you in all the many ways that we do. So I do get the pleasure of sending us home tonight, I think. So I would first like to just say, on behalf of the entire team at Horizon Goodwill Industries, our sponsors for this evening, our valued partners, both those who we were able to recognize tonight and those who we also work with on a daily basis. We have not forgotten you, and everybody is part of the movement. I would like to thank you for attending our awards ceremony this evening. I hope that everybody who is here tonight is inspired by the amazing stories of success that we have had the privilege to be a part of during, again, a most trying year, significantly impacted by a pandemic. I would also be remiss at this time if I did not mention our 2019 award recipients who were not able to be recognized in 2020 due to the cancellation of our event. Their stories will be shared in our annual report this year, which will be sent to all attendees here tonight, as well as shared with the community at large. So we have a whole nother group of award recipients that did not get their moment on stage, if you will, that we will recognize that way as well. So I encourage everybody here tonight to also look at those stories of accomplishment as well that occurred during 2019 that we weren't able to recognize last year. Thank you, Paul, for generously lending your talents as our MC this evening. I'd also like to thank Jamie Lawrence at One Room Media for our video production tonight. I think everybody will agree that the videos did an excellent job of telling the stories of success that we're experiencing and how our partnerships are working forward to produce great impact in the community. And again, thank all of our team members, including our marketing manager, Craig Foster, for running our AV tonight, as well as our awards event planning committee that was representative of a wide cross-section of the HGI staff team. As we move forward through 2021, I still believe, and always have, that the mission of Horizon Goodwill Industries continues to be of the utmost importance to communities that we serve. And I think we can probably all agree that now more than ever, we must come together to continue identifying and eliminating the barriers that keep so many from thriving and work to build brighter tomorrows for everyone. And I would just leave you with the challenge tonight that you remain steadfastly future-focused and commit your energies to helping us collectively achieve this goal. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being with us.